Was dir gefällt, die ganze Welt, schenk mir dein Herz, ich schenk dir Wort, du die Liebe selbst. Komm, sei die Königin in meinem Königreich, ich schenk dir heute Schloss am Rhein.
Welcome, welcome. So I just got from a wonderful vacation, and all of my friends, we all happen to be blonde, actually. We had so many great stories that they shared with me, and I just want to share those with you as well. So my one friend, she decides that she is sick and tired of all of these blonde jokes and how blondes are received as stupid. So she decides to show her husband that blondes really are smart. While her husband is off at work, she decides that she is going to paint a couple of rooms in the house. The next day, right after her husband leaves for work, she gets down to the task at hand. Her husband arrives home at 5:30 and smells the distinctive smell of paint. He walks into the living room and finds his wife lying on the floor in a pool of sweat. He notices that she's wearing a ski jacket over her fur coat. He says, "Are you okay?" And she's, "Yes." "What are you doing?" "I wanted to prove to you that not all blonde women are dumb, and I wanted to do it by painting the house." "Woo! Then why do you have a ski jacket over your fur coat?" "Well, I was reading the instructions, and they said for best results, put on 2 coats." So my one friend, she's a mom, and she was at a play date with a couple of other moms. One was a brunette, one was a redhead. They were all talking, and the brunette says, "Oh my gosh, y'all. I went through my daughter's purse the other day to get some gum, and I found an ounce of weed. I cannot believe she smokes weed." They commiserate with her, and the redhead says, "Yeah, well, I found a fake ID in my daughter's purse. I cannot believe she has one." So they all nod their heads and say, "What a shame." Then my friend the blonde says, "That's nothing. I found a condom in my daughter's purse. I just cannot believe she has a penis." So my friend was walking, she had a redheaded friend that she was walking with in the woods. And this is all very secret. You can't go telling anyone, especially the cops. When she, the redhead had a heart attack in the woods, fell down to the ground. Shocked, my friend calls on her phone to the police, and she says, "I think my friend is dead. What do I do?" The policeman says, "Calm down and listen to me. First, you need to make sure that she is really dead." There's a long silence, and then a loud gunshot. The blonde gets back on the phone and says, "Okay, now what?" My poor friend, she doesn't really know technology very well. She walked into a shop one day and said, "How much is that TV in the back?" The shopkeeper replied, "Sorry, I don't serve blondes." She went away, she dyed her hair brown. She went back the very next day and said, "How much is the TV in the back?" The shopkeeper says, "Sorry, I don't serve blondes." She went away, she wanted to try one more time. She dyed her hair bright blue. She said, "How much is the TV in the back?" The shopkeeper replied, "Sorry, I don't serve blondes." My friend was very frustrated. She said, "How can you tell that I'm blonde?" The shopkeeper replies, "That's not a TV, that's a microwave." My friend owns a ranch. She has a little redheaded sister that she owns the ranch with, and they just lost their bull. So they needed to buy a new one, but they only had $500. So the redheaded sister tells her blonde sister that I'm going to the market to see if I can find one for under that amount. If I can, I will send you a telegram. She goes to the market, finds one for $499. She only had $1 left. So when she went to the telegraph office and found out that it cost $1 per word, she was a little stumped on how to tell her to bring the truck and trailer back for the bull. Finally, she tells the telegraph operator to send the word comfortable. Skeptical, the operator asks, how will she know to come with the trailer with just that one word? The redhead sister replies, well, she's blonde, so she reads slow. Comfortable. My friend she was out of money and down on her luck. She bought some air at a real bargain. So she needed money desperately. She decided to hire herself out as a handyman. She started canvassing the really rich neighborhoods. She went to the front door of the Hearst house and asked the owner if he had any jobs she could do. He said, well, you can paint my porch. How much will you charge? My friend said $50. He agreed and told her that all the paints and ladders and everything were in the garage. The man's wife was inside the house, heard the conversation, and said, does she realize the porch goes all the way around the house? The man replied, she should. She was standing on the porch. A short time later, the blonde came back to the door and collected her money. And he said, you're finished already? She said, yeah, and I had paint left over, so I gave it 2 coats. I'm impressed. So he reached into her pocket to give her the $50. And my friend said, by the way, it's not a Porsche, it's a Ferrari. So this same friend realized $50 wasn't enough to make up for her loss. So she needed to raise some more cash. She decided to kidnap a child and hold him for ransom. She went to the local playground, grabbed a random kid, took him behind a building and told him, I've kidnapped you. She wrote a big note saying, I kidnapped your kid. Tomorrow morning, put $10,000 in a paper bag and leave it under the apple tree next to the slide on the south side of the playground. Signed, a blonde. The blonde, my friend, she then pinned the note to the kid's shirt and sent him home to his parents. The next morning, she checked behind the tree, and sure enough, the paper bag was sitting beneath the apple tree. The blonde looked in the bag and found the $10,000 with the note, and it said, how could you do this to a fellow blonde? So my friend, she works in an office. She has cubicle buddies with a brunette and a redhead. And they all work for the same female boss, and this boss goes home early every day. So the brunette says, hey girls, let's go home early tomorrow. She'll never know. The next day, they all leave right after the boss does. The brunette gets some extra gardening done, the redhead goes to a bar, the blonde goes home to find her husband having sex with the female boss. She quietly sneaks out of the house and returns at her normal time. The next day, the brunette says, that was fun, we should do it again sometime. No way, says the blonde, I almost got caught. So my friend was, she also works in an office, and this guy that she works with really needed some days off of work. But he knew the boss wouldn't allow him to leave. So he thought if he acted crazy, then the boss would tell him to take a few days off. So he hung upside down on the ceiling and made funny noises. His co-worker, my blonde friend, asked him what he was doing. He told her that he was pretending to be a light bulb. So the boss might think that he was crazy and give him a few days off. A few minutes later, the boss comes in and says, what are you doing? He told him that he was a light bulb. He said, you are clearly stressed out. Go home and recuperate for a couple days. He jumped down and walked out of the office. When his coworker, my friend, followed him, the boss asked her, "And where do you think you're going?" She said, "I'm going home too. I can't work in the dark." And finally, maybe some of us blondes are a little bit cleverer than the rest of you. My friend from Southern Alabama, she approached two bored casino dealers waiting at the craps table. She bet $20,000 on a single roll of dice. She says, "I hope you don't mind, but I feel much luckier when I play topless." With that, she strips to the waist and rolls the dice and yells, "Come on, Southern girl needs new clothes." As the dice bounce and come to a stop, she jumps up and down and squeals, "Yes, yes, I won!" She hugs each of the dealer and picks up her winnings and her clothes and quickly departs. The dealers stare at each other, dumbfounded. Finally, one of them asks, "What did she roll?" The other answers, "I don't know, I thought you were watching."
Phoenix, hello! Phoenix, hello! Phoenix, hello!